Hare Krishna. My obeisances to Chandan Yatra Prabhu, my obeisances to all of our viewers, and of course our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. Today we're continuing our series on celebrating Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, but we're taking a little tour, diversion you could say, but not really. It's in the same line, because we are going to be celebrating the appearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura in just a few days. And as we've been hearing, those of you who have been attending and participating in our programs, we've heard about how the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura's favorite book. You've heard that, Chandan Yatra?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. I heard just the other day in one of our broadcasts that I think it was, I'd never heard the circumstances, but then he explained that when Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura was in, I think it was Tripura, there was a big flood. And he commented that if you're in a situation like this and you can only take one book, if everything else is going to go, that one book, if you take this one book, Chaitanya Charitamrita, then you have everything. Because it has the Bhagavatam, the lessons of the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, they're all also contained there. So Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura is going to be our topic for today. Just as I hope that many of you have participated in our programs in the past, so you may be familiar with Chandan Yatra and what he does, but why don't you just give just a brief introduction for yourself and how you've come to this wonderful service of sharing the pastime places, the Tirtha Yatras.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pancharatna Prabhu, and Hare Krishna to Gopal Bhatta Prabhu. My obeisances to you. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and obeisances to everybody watching. Yes, I am Chandan Yatra Das. I'm disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Since 2009, I have traveled. I got inspired to, after I visited Sri Mayapur Dham, I was inspired to travel to various holy places connected with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. I read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Srila Vrindavana Thakur, and they're very sweet pastimes. So that made me travel to different places within Navadip Mandal Parikrama. I covered first, then the Jagannath Puri Dham, various places over there, then the South India Yatra. Then I also covered the holy places connected to the various Vaishnavas and the Lord Shri Krishna in Dwarika Dham. Even I covered in Kashmir, where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura has also gone, and we have a very magnificent temple there. And also in Northeast India, in Manipur, Tripura, Assam, and Sikkim. So I had desire to develop these articles and share with Vaishnava community and wider community worldwide. So I'm trying to do a little bit of service in this regard by mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas.
Now, and this is a service that you provide not just for, to develop this archives, but you also send out, as you develop these virtual tours, you send, I get them in my email box. And I'm just going to put here, let me just set this up here. And I hope I have this right. It's holypilgrimages.com, correct?
Yes, holypilgrimages.com.
Yeah, that's the URL. So, yeah. And you can go there and you can find a wealth of places. And I think, not only do you get to virtually visit, but you get inspiration and you get information and you get an education too. So tell us about today. Where are we going?
Yeah. Today we are in lead to the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur's appearance day. We are going to cover two very important pilgrimages. One is the birthplace of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur at Jagannath Puri, and the second one is the Sri Chaitanya Math, which was established, which Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established in 1918, which was also his sannyas year at Mayapur Dham. This place is Abhinna Vrindavan, non-different from Vrindavan Dham. So we'll visit both these places today.
That's fantastic. So okay, so let's get it started. If you can get your screen ready, we'll just put it up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and there we go. Here we are. Well, take it away. I'm just going to make this. There we are. Okay, I think maybe I'll take out the logos here so we can get a full screen. And it's all yours. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
You. Hare Krishna. So today we are covering a couple of very important holy pilgrimages. One is the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur's birthplace at Jagannath Puri, and the second one, Sri Chaitanya Math, which is the forest of Vrindavan in Mayapur. So first about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. He is a foremost personality and scholar of Lord Krishna's and Lord Krishna's devotee of his day. He was born on 6th of February 1874 at Jagannath Puri, and he was the child that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed to Lord Jagannath for wanting an assistant to preach in Krishna consciousness movement. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we know he's the father of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, and he was a great Vaishnava. He was a pioneer of Krishna consciousness movement. And while he was staying at that time on this planet, the pure religion of Vaishnavism taught by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was essentially lost. So therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was extremely saddened in the heart to see this, and with a great desire to present the actual teachings of Lord Chaitanya, he wrote and published many books in Bengali, Sanskrit, and English, which conclusively presented to the whole world and the people of India specifically the real teachings of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He also traveled to many parts of India preaching and giving lectures to many people whose hearts became quite changed by seeing his pure character and shining example. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was at that time the Chief District Magistrate at Jagannath Puri, and he was also appointed as a caretaker administrator at the Jagannath main temple too. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur practically single-handedly revived the pure movement of Nam Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Supreme Lord, and presented the glories of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu to all learned men of the world. He was a very respected personality, and so that the Krishna consciousness preaching movement can continue nicely even after he left the world. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he prayed fervently to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu to send him an assistant and a successor for Lord's personal staff of preachers. And answering to Thakur's prayer, this son, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, his name was Bimala Prasad, was born on 6th of February 1874 at Jagannath Puri. And through various signs, Lord displayed to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his good wife that this was the great soul that he has sent, that has been sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to carry on the preaching work that Bhaktivinoda Thakur had started. And the first sign which was witnessed was that when the child came out of the womb, his umbilical cord was wrapped around like the sacred thread worn by the Brahmanas. Everybody was very amazed by this sign. Then 6 months later, the annual Jagannath Rath Yatra festival, which is famous everywhere, that took place. And hundreds of people attended that, obviously. And that Rath, when it started off, the house where Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house is just 400 meters from the Sri Mandir on the Grand Road itself. So this Lord Jagannath actually stopped at Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, and seeing this, Thakur's wife took the opportunity to take the little Bimala Prasad on the top of the chariot to get the blessings of Lord Jagannath. And as soon as she placed the little child at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath, immediately a huge flower garland hanging from the neck of the Lord fell and encircled the child. And this infused the heart of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, reconfirming that this is the child who has come in answer to his prayers to Lord Chaitanya. Then later, 5 years after, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave him the Harinam Mahamantra and Nrsimha Mahamantra only when he was 5 years old. He was an erudite scholar, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura. He entered the Sanskrit University in 1892 and received the honorific title of Siddhanta Sarasvati in recognition of his vast knowledge of astronomy and bhakti. He was extremely intelligent and excelled in mathematics, astrology, Sanskrit, and other languages. The University of Kolkata offered him a chair, but he declined that he would dedicate his life in continuing the spiritual work of his father, Thakur Bhaktivinoda. In 1900, he took the initiation from Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji and received the name Sri Vrishabhanavi Devi, meaning the servant of the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, Srimati Radharani. 5 years later, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, he took a vow to chant 1 billion holy names of the Lord to prepare himself to launch Krishna consciousness preaching. It took him 10 years to fulfill his vow, and during this time he lived in a small bamboo hut in front of the deity of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Rudradeep Island of Navdeep Dham and chanted Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In fact, it is said that he chanted so continuously that whenever it used to rain, we all know it rains very heavily during the monsoon time in Navadvip, Mayapur. So whenever it used to rain, he simply used to take an umbrella in one of his hand and kept on chanting. So this was his great determination and dedication of chanting the holy name to fulfill the vow that he had taken. He then began his Krishna conscious preaching all over India, establishing Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mission with such vigor that no one had seen before. He established 64 Gaudiya Maths, initiated 60,000 disciples, and re-established Vrajadham Parikrama and Navadip Mandal Parikrama. He has also established printing presses in Mayapur, Delhi, Chennai, and other major cities. In 1922, a major incident happened when Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness in ISKCON, he met for the very first time while Bhaktisiddhanta was preaching at the Ulta Danga suburb in Kolkata. And in his very first meeting, when Abhay and his friend respectfully offered their obeisances and were just preparing to sit before him, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati said, "You both are educated men. Why don't you preach Lord Chaitanya's message throughout the world?" So this was a very turning point when Srila Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur for the very first time. And later, Srila Prabhupada established the Krishna consciousness movement, bringing forward Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and instilling the hearts of millions all over the world towards bringing closer to Lord Krishna, everybody. So it was because of the instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur that Srila Prabhupada could fulfill this grand mission. Earlier, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur traveled along with his fathers to various holy pilgrimages in India. And during this time, he also compiled Vaishnava encyclopedia known as Vaishnava Manjusha. In 1911, at an All India Conference of Pandits at Midnapur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, taking the place of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who was ill at that time, lectured to an astounded audience on a comparative position of a Brahmana and a Vaishnava. And after the discourse, all the people who were present, they came forward and offered their respects at his lotus feet. And the president of the conference, in fact, called him as a self of Sri Sukadev Goswami. And the lecture was subsequently published as a book in Bengali. He made special studies of Vaishnava literature of South India and was first to introduce the Bengali translation of the works of Sripad Madhvacharya Sampradaya to the public in Bengal. In his teachings, he dealt with the relative positions of different Vaishnava and non-Vaishnava schools of philosophy, and he brought out the difference between empirical and revealed methods of spiritual understanding. In 1914, when his father's manifest pastime disappeared from this planet, he took up the task of spreading the Krishna consciousness movement, and he took up the editing of his father's journals, Sajjanatoshani, a monthly Vaishnava paper in Bengali, and later in 1927, he converted it into an English fortnightly called Harmonist. In 1918, at the age of 45, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura accepted the title of sannyas as a Goswami Maharaj. And in the same year, he established the first Vaishnava monastery, Sri Chaitanya Math, at Sri Dham, Mayapur, which became his preaching headquarters. From 1919 to 1929, he constantly traveled all over India, including all the parts in North and South, Kashmir as well, lecturing to the crowds of thousands, debating, destroying various bogus religious sects, and performing parikramas with his disciples to different sacred sites, seeking to improve and preserve them. During these travels, he installed the footprints of Lord Chaitanya in 108 places where Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu traveled during his sannyas time. At these spots, he also recorded the date when Lord Chaitanya had visited those places. Then he also brought in a lot of innovations in preaching of Krishna consciousness movement. Remember, at that time, they weren't used to be too much technology savvy. TV and internet wasn't there. So he used new various ways like having the exhibitions and the dioramas. In 1930 and 31, a new kind of spiritual education was exhibited for the benefit of public and especially the illiterate masses in India. And Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura demonstrated the import and the teachings of Vedic literature by means of huge exhibitions in which pictorial representation by means of dioramas, the dolls, and lifelike manner were employed. These wonderful exhibitions attracted thousands of people and bringing them forward towards Lord Krishna. And on 31st of December 1936, at the age of 62, he left this mortal world and re-entered the pastimes of Shishi, Radha and Krishna. His samadhi is in Sri Chaitanya Math. And before that, actually, although he achieved a lot of highly success was achieved by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura in preaching Krishna consciousness movement, but nevertheless, the problems and the difficulties were still there. And one of the main problems was that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura initiated Brahmanas and sannyasis who were not actually born in the orthodox caste Brahmana families. So these caste Brahmanas, they did a lot of oppositions. And in that, they also made an attempt to assassinate Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura during 1930s. They devised a plan to assassinate him, and they informed the police to bribe him. But the police, he said that whereas he usually accepts the bribes, they cannot be connected to the killing of a great sadhu or a holy man. So police magistrate then immediately informed Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and his life was saved. So this is the brief description of the life and pastimes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. His birthplace is at Jagannath Puri. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, as I mentioned, is about 400 meters on the Grand Road itself from Jagannath Temple, and it is very close to the Jagannath Vallabh Gardens, where the flowers are collected. There's a garden over there for Lord Jagannath. So this building, which is big pink in color, and now is used by Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, is the birthplace of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. This is the building. It has pink color and blue domes. This is the main entrance to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura's birthplace. And outside it is clearly mentioned birthplace of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. And when we enter the Sri Chaitanya Math, we see there's a big 3 altars are there, and in the center is the very charming and very beautiful Shishi Radha Nayanamani Jiv, which Radha Nayanmani means Krishna the jewel of Srimati Radha Rani's lotus eyes. And on the left hand side is Shishi Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, very large deities. And on the right hand side is a large murti of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, which is the exact spot where he appeared. This is a very beautiful deities of Shishi Radha Nayan Manijiu. That's the close-up. And these are the deities of Shishi, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra on the left-hand side altar. And this is the exact birth spot of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. And while the temple was being constructed and the digging was happening in the earth, a very sweet sandalwood smell emanated from the ground from this very place where he was born. So this is another divine symptoms of a great Vaishnava Acharya. This is a closer picture of the birthplace of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. And outside on the wall it's written, birthplace of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. And in the courtyard, there are various paintings and a diorama of various pastimes of Lord Krishna, Gaur Nitai. This is one of them, the Harinam Sankirtan pastime. This is the baby Bimala Prasad. Bimala Prasad was the name before his initiated names. And here is the diorama of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his wife with the baby. This is the pastime that I described about Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra. Baby Bimala Prasad in the mother's lap, and she's taking him on top of Lord Jagannath's chariot, from where as soon as she put the baby Bimala Prasad at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath, a very big garland, flower garland from Lord Jagannath's neck fell on him. This is another pastime of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur doing the preaching. The diorama of Shishi Krishna Balaram, Shishi Gaur Nitai. This is a very beautiful diorama of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu exhibiting his Sadbhuja 6 formed to Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya at Jagannath Puri. So this very important pastime took place at Jagannath Puri when Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his Sadbhuj 6-handed form. Then this is another pastime where Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to his very intimate, confidential devotee, Sri Ramananda Rai at Rajamundry, that he is non-different from Shishi, Radha and Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. And around the main temple altar at the Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, there are Srila Bhakti, as per the desire of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, the 4 Vaishnava sampradayas, the main Vaishnava acharyas of them are installed. This one is Sripad Ramanujacharya from Sri Sampradaya. The next Murti of Sripad Nimbarka from Nimbarka Sampradaya. This is Sripad Madhvacharya from Madhva Sampradaya. And Sripad Vishnu Swami from Rudra Sampradaya. And now we move to another place, Sri Chaitanya Math, the forest of Vrindavan in Mayapur. As I mentioned, this Sri Chaitanya Math was established by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura in 1918, which was also the year when he took sannyas. So very beautiful gardens at the Sri Chaitanya Math. And this place is non-different from Vrindavan, and it's called Vrindavan Patan. This name was given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura himself. And at this place, we can see Shamakund, Radhakund, Giri Govardhan, the main temple of Shishi Radha Gandharivika Giridhari, and also there are tamal trees, akul trees. Also, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura also established the Samadhi of his Guru Maharaj, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Beautiful gardens as we enter the Sri Chaitanya Math. This is the life-size Murti of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura at his Samadhi. The Samadhi of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. This is entrance of Shamakund. Beautiful Shamakund. This is the temple of Shishi Radha Gandharivika Giridhari. And very gorgeous deities of Shishi Radha Gandharivika Giridhari and Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. This is the Tulsi Maharani at the courtyards of the temple. And she again at around this temple, all the murtis of the 4 Vaishnava acharyas from the 4 Vaishnava sampradayas is also installed by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. This is a very important site of Samadhi of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. It's just on in front of the temple while going to Radhakund. This is Samadhi of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. This original Samadhi was there in the Navadip town earlier in early 1930s. But with the changing current of the Ganges River in Navadip, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura brought this Samadhi and got it here at Sri Chaitanya Math. This is the life-size Murti of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And just little ahead is Giri Govardhan, the Govardhan Hill. That's the beautiful picture of Giri Govardhan. So to circumambulate this Govardhan hill, it takes about 5 minutes compared to what it takes many hours at Govardhan in Vrajamandal. And on top of the hill is the beautiful deity of Lord Krishna. And again, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura established as Abhinna Vrindavan. This Govardhan Hill, Radha Kund, Sham Kund. This is Radha Kund, very beautiful Radha Kund. Very beautiful landscapes of Radha Kund. Very, very serene place and of high potency in our Krishna consciousness. This is the Kadamba Vriksh, the tree. This is the Tamal tree. This is a sign which is put up by Sri Chaitanya Math. We all obviously respect this sign, but it's a very important site of Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya Bhavan. Obviously, we can't go because here is the admin building of Sri Chaitanya Math, but this doesn't rule out that Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya, who was also known as Acharya Ratna, was an intimate associate of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is the actual place where his house was located. In fact, this Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura established his Sri Chaitanya Math at Chandrasekhar's house. He was very close friend of Jagannatha Mishra, the father of Lord Chaitanya, and as his wife was the sister of Sachi Mata. In fact, so he was the uncle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chandrasekhar Acharya had deep fatherly affection for Nimai, and he brought him here on a number of occasions and played with him on his lap. And after Jagannath Mishra, the father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has left, he took the role of Nimai's father, and he protected Sachi Mata. And various important pastimes took place here at the Chandrasekhar Acharya Bhavan. In 1506, when Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was 20 years old, he wanted to enact a drama of Lord Krishna's pastimes. Here, so he chose the roles for everyone and also the costumes that were supplied to him by Buddhimata Khan. And Gora Nataraj, the dancing Krishna, he actually played the role of Rukmini in Dwarika. And he danced so perfectly during the drama that even his own mother and wife could not recognize that this is their Nimai. And in that drama, Gadadhar Pandit played the role of Lakshmi Devi. Haridas Thakur, he wore a mustache to play a guard for Vaikuntha. Srivas Pandit played the Narad Muni role, and Lord Nityananda Prabhu became Purnamashi. Sri Advaitacharya could not decide which role to play, so he played the role in the mood of Lord Shiva. And only very close associates of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu were allowed to see this play, which was saturated with unalloyed Krishna Prema. And this play was enacted for 7 days and 7 nights. And people, all the devotees who were present were oblivious of time, and they began to cry when the play ended. But Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu personally embraced all the devotees and consoled them. So all these and more details are there on the websites at dandavards.com, the birthplace of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, full article, Sri Chaitanya Math, Forest of Vrindavan in Mayapur, and also there's an article on Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji's Samadhi. And more articles on the Holy Dhams are there on this website, holy-pilgrimages.com. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That was really wonderful. I remember now, you've reminded me about Chandrasekhar Acharya Bhavan, but I had really, that was very much in the back of my memory from pilgrimages long past. And the amazing dramas of Mahaprabhu. We know that we heard just the other day, we heard about Srila Prabhupada's drama where he played Advaita Acharya.
Okay.
And in his This was before meeting Bhaktisiddhanta here. He was a student at Scottish Church College, and he had a drama coach, or the director of the drama was the best of the town, and he insisted that it must be perfect. So they practiced for a whole year, and the similar effect when they put on the drama, the audience just was totally taken. Tears were flowing. So yes, this is a power of drama and enacting the pastimes. If we can do it, it is very good. Thank you so much. So this is a great little taste of what's to come. Of course, we're going to be celebrating Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura's appearance in just a few days. And then I believe next week? I don't have the schedule in front of me. That we're going to be continuing and going to South India, correct?
Correct. Next Sunday we'll be going to South India Yatra, and that's a quite elaborate pilgrimage where we'll be covering several places where Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu traveled in the South India. So it will be quite an elaborate one.
Yes, and those are places that many of us have never been able to go to, and may never be able to get to as well. So this is going to be very, very special. I hope that we'll get, and of course, all of these are recorded. They're on our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. So we'll be informing everyone so that they can take advantage, and then we'll be, we'll be looking forward to more and more of this. So thank you very, very much, Chandan Yatra Prabhu. We really appreciate this virtual tour, and we will look forward to the next edition in just a week.
Thank you so much to you, Prabhu, and I feel fortunate to be of little service to everybody. And please take the advantage of this. And whenever you get a chance, please do travel to these holy pilgrimages, because they infuse our hearts in Krishna consciousness. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada always wanted that we visit the holy Dhams, holy places, because this recharges our batteries in Krishna consciousness, and we can thus surcharge our other congregation members as well, and infuse them to also attend the holy pilgrimages, because this is one of the anga in the devotional service.
Yes. So, and here it is again, holypilgrimages.com. Please make sure to visit there and get that information. And if you haven't already done so, make sure that you're subscribed to our mailing list at gbcspt.com, and as well as our Facebook pages. We have Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to follow us there so you don't miss out on anything that's coming. Okay, so let me just wrap it up here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.